When Kim Soo-Hyun returned to the big screen this year, fans expected greatness, but no one anticipated a film that would redefine cinematic emotion and raise the bar across Asia's film industry. From the very first frame, his latest project doesn't just grab your attention, it haunts it. Every line, every expression, every scene pulses with something rare: authenticity. This isn't just a movie. It's an experience. A raw, emotional roller coaster disguised as a slow-burn drama. Critics are already calling it a masterpiece. And the truth? They're not wrong. The film opens quietly, almost too quietly. A single piano note, a dim hallway, and then Kim Soo-Hyun's silhouette, walking into the scene like a man who has seen everything but forgotten how to feel. There's no dramatic music, no exposition. Just presence. And that's what makes it so powerful. His silence is louder than dialogue. His eyes carry pain, longing, and a storm of stories unspoken. From that moment, you're no longer a viewer. You're a witness. As the story unfolds, what strikes viewers isn't just the plot, it's how deeply personal every moment feels. The confrontation in the kitchen, where his character finally breaks down while holding a family photo, wasn't even scripted to be that emotional. But during filming, Kim Soo-Hyun reportedly asked the director to let the camera run longer, promising he would bring something unexpected. What followed stunned the entire crew. With trembling hands, he dropped the photo and whispered a line that wasn't in the script at all. "I was never enough, was I?" The room went silent. That one unscripted line made the final cut and shattered audiences. Behind the scenes, stories of Kim Soo-Hyun's method acting flooded social media. He isolated himself from the cast for 3 days before filming the emotional climax, refusing to speak to anyone, not even the director. When they finally shot the rain scene, the one where he screams alone on the rooftop, soaked and broken, it wasn't just rain machines. The weather had actually turned stormy that night. The crew suggested postponing the scene, but Soo-Hyun insisted on shooting. That real rain, combined with his raw, ragged voice cutting through the storm, gave the film its most unforgettable moment. The chemistry with his co-star was another revelation. In the quiet cafe scene, when their hands brush across the table, there's a tension so delicate it feels sacred. No music plays. Just silence, broken by soft breathing. The director later revealed that the actors weren't told when the camera started rolling. They were simply asked to sit and feel. Kim Soo-Hyun leaned into the role so fully, his expression said more than dialogue ever could. At one point, he tears up without blinking. Not out of sadness, but realization. That kind of control takes mastery. One of the most talked about sequences is the long take through the abandoned train yard. The camera follows Kim Soo-Hyun in a single, uninterrupted shot as he walks through memories of his past. With each step, he reacts to sounds, some real, some imagined. Footsteps, laughter, screams. He doesn't speak once, but his body language shifts like a wave of trauma rolling through him. What fans didn't know: that entire take lasted over 11 minutes, and he never missed a beat. The cinematographer said they captured magic and never attempted a second take. Then there's the mirror scene. A small moment, but one that left audiences breathless. Kim Soo-Hyun stares at his reflection for over a minute, trying to convince himself he's still alive inside. The mirror fogs up from his breath, and just when you think he'll speak, he wipes it away, revealing a different expression entirely. Behind the scenes, the team shared that this moment was fully improvised. He wasn't told what to do. He simply reacted. And that's where the genius lies. During production, Kim Soo-Hyun was more than an actor. He became a quiet leader on set. When a junior crew member broke down from exhaustion, he personally brought them water, sat beside them, and stayed until they calmed down. The story went viral after a staff member anonymously posted about it online, calling him the heart of the set. This warmth translated into the film. You feel it in every scene, an undercurrent of humanity that no director could direct. It came from him. There's also an iconic line in the film that fans now chant at fan meets: "If loving you was a sin, I'd do it twice." It wasn't part of the original script. It was suggested as a joke during rehearsals, but Kim Soo-Hyun insisted it be added to the scene. He believed his character needed a final, unforgettable confession. The line, delivered under the faint flicker of a dying street lamp, is now the film's most quoted moment. The soundtrack deserves a special mention. Kim Soo-Hyun personally requested a live pianist for one of the emotional flashback scenes. The pianist sat off-screen, playing in real time as the camera rolled. As the melody played, Soo-Hyun adjusted his timing, even his breathing, to match the rhythm. It's why the scene feels so fluid, like a dance between grief and memory. It wasn't just acted, it was felt. By the time the credits roll, you're not just impressed, you're changed. The film doesn't tie up everything neatly. It lingers. It echoes. And that's its power. Every performance, every choice, every unscripted moment adds up to something much bigger than just a movie. This isn't just Kim Soo-Hyun's best performance to date, it's the best film of the year. And not because of flashy action or overdone romance, but because it trusts its actor to tell a story in the most human way possible. Honestly, messily, and beautifully. Kim Soo-Hyun didn't play a role. He lived it. And in doing so, he reminded everyone watching what cinema is really about, feeling something you can't explain. Absolutely. Here's a continuation that stays fully focused on elaborating the emotional, behind-the-scenes magic and mind-blowing moments from Kim Soo-Hyun's film, all within your 1,000-word limit. What truly elevated Kim Soo-Hyun's performance in this film wasn't just his emotional depth, it was his complete surrender to vulnerability. One scene, in particular, left not only the audience but also the entire production crew in stunned silence. It was the hospital hallway moment, where his character collapses against the wall after hearing devastating news. The camera was only supposed to capture a passing glance, a subtle tear. But Kim didn't stop there. He slid to the floor, gripped his chest like he couldn't breathe, and released a guttural, trembling cry that wasn't in the script. The director whispered, "Keep rolling," and the crew held their breath. That take made it into the final cut. What fans didn't know? Kim Soo-Hyun had requested to hear a voice recording, his own voice, distorted to sound like a memory, played through a hidden earpiece just seconds before the scene. It was a line his character's mother used to say, asterisk, "Don't forget to come home." Asterisk, that one haunting phrase triggered the breakdown. It was Kim's idea. And it worked. There was also an unscheduled moment on the balcony set that became a cinematic highlight. During a night shoot, the scene required Kim Soo-Hyun to light a candle for someone he lost. As the flame flickered, a breeze unexpectedly blew it out, twice. The director was about to yell cut, but Kim stayed in character. He shielded the flame with his hand, reignited it, and whispered, "Not this time." It was a line that wasn't planned, yet it resonated so deeply that fans now refer to it as the film's emotional turning point. Later, the director admitted it was Kim's persistence and sensitivity in that moment that gave the scene its soul. Behind the scenes, the emotional toll on Kim wasn't small. He was seen between takes pacing barefoot on set, sometimes with headphones in, listening to voice memos he had recorded in character. One of the assistant directors revealed that Kim had created a private audio diary as his character, a personal journal he never let anyone hear. It helped him stay immersed. That kind of dedication is rare. But for Kim Soo-Hyun, it wasn't about the performance. It was about truth. And he carried it in every breath. One of the most captivating moments fans still dissect frame by frame is the dining room confrontation. There's tension, unresolved hurt, and Kim's character finally lashes out, but not with anger. Instead, he speaks in near whispers, eyes wide, trembling with fear and frustration. "Say it," he says. "Say it, so I know I didn't dream it." The actor across from him was reportedly caught off guard by the sheer unpredictability of Kim's delivery. That tension you see on screen? Completely real. In fact, the scene had to be restructured after that take because the rawness was so overwhelming, it shifted the story's emotional center. In a quieter scene shot inside an old bookstore, Kim Soo-Hyun surprised everyone again. His character, revisiting a place from his youth, was meant to pick up a book and walk away. Instead, Kim stayed in the moment, flipped through an old poetry collection, and began to recite lines softly under his breath. The crew didn't recognize the words, because they weren't in the script. Later, it was revealed he had memorized several old Korean poems during his preparation phase, hoping to use them if the moment called for it. It was a personal touch. One poem spoke of grief like a garden that never stops blooming. That tender spontaneity made the scene unforgettable. The rooftop finale, which many now hail as one of the most beautiful endings in Korean cinema, nearly didn't happen the way it did. The original plan involved a dramatic monologue and wide drone shots. But the night of filming, Kim suggested a quieter route. "Let me just sit," he said. He walked to the edge, looked out over the city lights, and remained silent for almost 2 minutes. Then, without warning, he turned to the camera and said, "Maybe I was never broken. Just rearranged." It was a line he had written himself, scribbled in a notebook he carried everywhere on set. That take stayed. It was poetry in motion, and audiences left the theaters speechless. Even the smallest gestures had layers. When Kim's character ties a ribbon around a tree in one scene, most viewers saw it as symbolic. But the color of the ribbon. It matched the scarf worn by his childhood friend in an earlier flashback, a detail so subtle most people missed it. But not Kim. He had requested the prop team match the fabric exactly. "It's something he'd remember," Kim said. "It's those details, the things you don't notice until your second or third watch, that make the film so rich." Off-set, Kim Soo-Hyun was just as immersed. During the final week of filming, he personally wrote thank you notes to every member of the cast and crew. Not typed, handwritten. He stayed late after wrap on the final night, helping the crew dismantle the set. When asked why, he simply replied, "They carried my performance. I carry the gratitude." That humility is why people don't just watch his films, they feel them. This wasn't just another role. It was a journey. A portrait of grief, love, memory, and healing, painted with the brushstrokes of a master actor who gave not just his talent, but his soul. In a year of standout films, Kim Soo-Hyun's project stands alone. Not because it's loud, or flashy, or filled with spectacle, but because it reminds us that sometimes the quietest films are the ones that scream the loudest in our hearts.